Hello, everybody. It's Graham Cofe with My Music, and today is Hump Day, which means that you need to stop doing what you're doing for 5 minutes, take a break, and listen to us talk about music instead of doing your spreadsheet. So here we go. Let's play a little video, and then I'll be back to talk to Carl. And today I'm joined by Carl, as I said, from the shop window. Hi, Carl.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for
where
having me.
Where are you coming from, sir?
I'm coming from Wiltshire, a little village called Downton, just south of Salisbury.
Yeah, no, Downton. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, that's a pretty little place.
It's lovely. Yeah, moved here from Kent, end of the summer last year, sort of end of August.
Yeah. A little bit different.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah.
Got a pair of wellies now and sports jacket and rocking.
Fantastic. Where have you out doing
something mucky.
Something mucky, you'll be having horses next and all of that, but who knows? Now listen, great name of a band, the Shop Window. I'm going to ask you in a minute the obvious, which is where that came from, but for me, I think it's a great name because for me, when I hear that term, it kind of conjures up something that almost shines a light on something, and it's from a marketing point of view, because that's what I do for my day job. We're always talking to customers about their shop window, if you like, what it is that presents them to the world, etc.
Yep.
Where did the term come from?
It's exactly that, really. It's about, kind of, as people, we only ever present our shop window, so you can give across whatever you want to, and it might not necessarily be what's going on inside. And it's exactly what you're saying. It's the shop window, and for a band, you have a shop window as well.
Is it becoming increasingly difficult to have a shop window that people want to have a look in these days? Do you think, musically or not?
I don't know. It's easier in some respects and more difficult in others, really. Yeah. I mean, it's with the power of the internet and social media, it's a hell of a lot easier. But in the same token, there's so many able to do that now that you're just a needle in a haystack.
Yeah. So it's about standing out. It is about having a great shop window.
Yeah. That's from your your artwork and your videos and any photos or whatever. And I guess social media is your shop window a bit as well, because you can present what you want to.
Well, it's where we all pick up on new music, I guess, more than anything else in the world these days, because there's only going to be a few that can afford or are signed to marketing mammoths out there who can push you to the global populace through mass marketing.
PR is so expensive, to just use a radio plugger, which has no guarantees. It's a fortune. And same with PR companies. If you want to have a proper press campaign that goes beyond what your bubble of social media, then you need to have thousands in the bank.
But is it encouraging to you that there are bands out there that are doing it at the moment without having signed a deal, without having necessarily the same kind of management structure that there was previously?
It is encouraging, but I think there's a lot of false kind of perception going on as well, really, because a lot of the bands that people think are unsigned are suddenly number one or this or that. There's someone behind it with a lot of money, which they don't know about, and quite often they'll be signed and on a development deal, but it's all kept hush hush. So there is not all unsigned bands are unsigned, I don't think.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying there, and I obviously, it makes sense. You can't suddenly go from, oh look, we've managed to get to number one, and we've got 30 different versions of a vinyl release of this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it costs a lot of money, and unless you've got minted parents or something, there's no way you can break that bubble so quickly that some bands perceive to do.
Well, listen, if there's any minted parents out there watching,
yeah, send them my way. You can adopt me.
Who want to adopt Carl and his group, then they'd be most happy. How did you all meet? How did it all first start for you?
Well, Syd and Martin in the band, I've been in bands with before, years and years ago. And Phil, the drummer, I used to go to college with. So we're kind of old mates. And this was never meant to be a thing of releasing music. I'd been living in New Zealand, moved back, and I just wanted to get together and make some noise. So I called Martin and Phil, and we just got in the rehearsal room and became a weekly thing. And then we recorded some tracks, and I dragged my old mate Syd along, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, let's release one of these on Spotify, and then people actually liked it, so we kept going.
People actually liked it, yeah. Oh dear, now you're thinking, oh, we've got to actually got to pull our socks up a little bit here.
Yeah, and I mean it still is for fun for us, and it's still like a glorified hobby. It takes a lot of time, but we're loving it, and it's got to live your best life, haven't you, really?
Yeah. Was there a point there then when you started releasing it, you started to get a bit of traction with people liking the sound, liking what it was that you were doing, where you then get pulled into, I've got to do the social media for this, and I've got to think about.
I mean, the social media thing sort of became like a comfort in lockdown, really, because we released our first single, when was it? April of 2020, so during lockdown. And I got on Twitter and did all that, and it became like such a comfort thing during lockdown, and I met so many like-minded people. It sort of became like my personal account as well as the band account. And I've made some great friends on there, and there's a community of people who I consider sort of friends who are also fans of the band, and just very organic, really, the way it grew, just engaging people. And it enables you to find new music and find your own audience for your band as well, but in a fun way. You put in, however much time you want to, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. I find Twitter in particular particularly receptive to music. It's quite interesting. I broadcast this. Hello, everybody. I broadcast this on various different platforms, one of which is LinkedIn as well, which everybody, when I first started doing it, said, why? Because LinkedIn is full of boring old people that, talk about business all day long. But, my perception of that was, well, actually, for a start, I've got about 20,000 people that follow me on LinkedIn because I spend half my day there. Yeah. And secondly, I like music. So my rationale was, well, if I like music and I'm a 51-year-old who, used to be in a band and, still collects music and listens to music on a daily basis. And it's an important part of my work life as well. I listen to music while I'm working. There's got to be other people out there that are in the same boat. And funnily enough, there were, so I think that the sort of dimensions of where people engage in music are really broken down. Pardon me. It's not, you can't necessarily say, well, it's just over there or it's just over here. And I think you can, if you spend the time, you can find a tribe anywhere.
Yep. Yeah, it's really kind of, I think this sort of generation as well are still really into music. It's like the John Peel, Steve Lamacq generation of listeners are still really into music and still go to gigs. But like you say, it's like there's so many different avenues to find music now, and I guess LinkedIn is also one of them. And LinkedIn's evolved a lot, hasn't it, over the years, and become more personal, I guess, in a way.
Well, LinkedIn, when I first started doing LinkedIn many moons ago, just looked like, well, I describe it as a digital filofax. Yeah. That's what it used to be like. It used to be sort of like, oh, here's my collection of contacts that I've got that I talk business with. And everybody was kind of just talking about their business, and that was about it. And now it's just evolved into a social platform like everything else, where people are socially selling. Yes, they're talking about business, but they're also talking about themselves, etc. So it just kind of makes sense that people can talk about things like music as well. And actually, even over the last week, some of the podcasts that I've put out, or some of the broadcasts I've put out about music, have had such a great response on LinkedIn from people,
That's really cool,
who are then saying, oh, do you know what? I'm going to go and listen to that now. And that's ultimately all I can ask for. And it's all that the bands can ask for as well, is that, I've discovered something new and I'm going to go and listen to it. And that's why I do this ultimately. So, in terms of your sound, you love a melody.
Yeah, it's all about melody for me. You've got to be able to say, as much as the lyric in a melody for me.
Who do you think does that really well outside of your band? Who for you is a melody master?
There's so many. I mean, guitar-wise, someone like Johnny Marr can say so much in a melody. He can speak
melody over melody over melody, isn't it, with Johnny Marr?
And he can create that feeling before there's even a vocal on top of it. There are so many really, and not everyone is into lyrics, so I think you've got to be able to say something in a melody. You've got to be able to create a feeling and an emotion with a melody as much as you can with a lyric.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I love it when people...
If a song doesn't have that for me when I'm writing, then it doesn't become a song. It has to be able to give me a feeling
and draw you into the song, and with that feeling, as you say, even before the lyric starts. And actually, and talking about the Smiths, I mean that they were masters of as well. Marr was a master of actually drawing you in with almost one sensibility, and then Morrissey would come in with the vocal, and it would be like, oh, it's like, oh, we're going a different way here.
They were just the perfect balance, really, weren't they? Because Morrissey would come in sounding like a miserable old git, and there was Johnny Marr.
It's like you're ready to dance, and then Morrissey's coming in like,
That's what made them brilliant and so unique.
Yeah, absolutely. When did you first start writing?
I was probably about 18. Yeah, probably about 18. I started writing little guitar riffs and things. And, I've been writing ever since, even between bands. I keep writing, and you always learn something new, a new trick, or how to get from something to something else. And I think the thing that evolves most is your instinct to know when something's not right.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Because anyone can write a song, anyone can hum a melody and write a song, but whether it's a good one or not, it's like people who have music lessons. They know the theory and they know all the notes that go together, and they can put a piece of music together which sounds lovely, but does it bring anything out from here? And it's
such a fascinating art form, isn't it? It's
I've never had a music lesson in my life. I can't read music or anything, and it's always had to be something that's sort of come from inside rather than written down, and gives a feeling.
How much evolves in terms of as you start to bring that to the table with the rest of the band, and then maybe you start to produce it as well? How much of it evolves in that side of things as well? Because like with any song, as you say, it's almost like you can have a great song. Actually, you can have a really great song as well, which just doesn't quite work because it's just not in terms of the way that it's laid out.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't.
Could be one or two pieces of the jigsaw don't quite fit, and then it's kind of killed the song.
Yeah.
But that's
suddenly.
I mean, I get that with like doing our demos at home sometimes, and it might just be the change of one little bit of vocal melody or one guitar part. It might just be one little element that you need to change, and then all of a sudden it clicks into place and makes sense.
Yeah, it can even just be nothing. It could be, when I say nothing, it could literally just be space, can't it? It can just be sort of like,
drop something out.
Stop. Don't have anything there.
Yeah.
You know, suddenly there's tension in that part of the song which wasn't there before, which is brilliant.
I think that's one of the really important things about being a sort of songwriter stroke producer is, having that instinct to know when something or what something is that's not quite making it fit or work.
Yeah, no, totally. What sort of things are you writing about? Price of tomatoes going up.
Exactly. Energy bills, freezing my balls off.
The fact that none of us will be able to eat pizza soon.
Yeah. I mean, love's a common one because it's kind of what makes the world go round, really, isn't it? And the state of the world, really, common ones that we sort of write about, and I guess sort of getting older and seeing things in a different light, and fears for the future and our younger generation and how we sort things out. And I guess it's probably what everyone writes about, really, isn't it? I mean, for me, song lyrics are there as kind of something that you have to do, and I don't always enjoy writing song lyrics. I enjoy writing the melodies more. So sometimes I kind of, ponder and spend a lot of time on lyrics after the song's finished.
Are you a bit self-critical?
Yeah. I mean, Syd in the band, he loves writing lyrics, so I often get him to kind of write some or finish some off if I'm kind of, reached a point where I'm like, I don't want to write anymore on this. I just don't like what's coming out. So I'll get Syd to kind of come and do his thing and write a few more for us.
But that's great. I mean, that's a great way of writing, really, as well. I mean, I think all of us actually find it easier to come in and sort of finish off what someone's already started.
Yeah.
Because you've got a start there, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, but do you know what? We could put that in there instead. And
yeah. I mean, sometimes lyrics just come instantly and it's done, but other times it's just like, and like I say, he loves writing lyrics, so he'll have page loads and he'll just get to it. And it works with melodies as well. Sometimes he'll say, I've got this great melody, and he'll send me a vocal melody, and I'll just kind of build a song around it and add a chorus, and then it's like a few collaborations we've done on the albums work like that.
So it sounds like your songs don't necessarily always start from the same point.
No. Sometimes it will start from a guitar riff or a vocal melody. Sometimes get the music completely finished before there's even a vocal melody. I don't think there's any right or wrong way. It's just the end result, how you get there.
What's the feedback been like? I mean, in terms of what people have been saying to you, what's been the best bit of feedback that you've had from someone?
I guess, God, it's a difficult one. I wish I had the quote sheet. Syd did like a little quote flyer of like reviews. And I mean, there's so many great ones of just, uplifting songs and great melodies and, consistency. I don't really know. I mean, we've been likened to lots of our sort of favorite bands like, Smiths and Ride, Teenage Fan Club, REM.
Well, that's always great, isn't it?
Yeah,
in a way. I mean, a band always wants to make their own mark and sound like their own thing, and not be just related completely to something else. And I don't think you sound like anybody else.
Yeah, I think
which is great.
It's just come to me actually, one of the quotes, and it was something like, "You'll find nods to 80s and 90s indie all over the place with astute sonic updates."
That's great.
And so I really like that one because it it sort of it widens it really and makes it more contemporary.
If that was you that wrote that, when you're listening to this back, let us know, because that was great. Whoever wrote that was fantastic.
I think it might have been White Light, White Heat or someone. I can't remember. So
there you go. If they're watching at any point over the next week or so, whilst this is still out, do let us know, because that was a really good review. Perhaps you could review some more music for us as well. That would be fantastic, because I really like the sense of your wordplay there. Thank you very much. What's the ambition for the shop window over the next year? I mean, you said it started as kind of just fun,
I guess
but
to, keep going with the album releases and single releases. Really, I mean, we've made the decision to not gig loads, because it's with 4 of us living in different counties now.
Wow.
So we've got 2 in Kent, 1 in Wiltshire, 1 in Dorset, and then 1 in Suffolk. So
that's a long way.
Yeah. So rehearsing in the same room together is quite tricky. But for me, I would rather focus on being a studio band, much like how the Beatles did it, when they kind of got past their early thing. And because a record lasts forever. Once you've recorded something and done something, it lasts forever. And we've all gigged loads in our lives in bands and various forms. So I'd rather leave loads of great albums behind when I'm gone.
Well, absolutely, that's tremendous. Now listen, I'm just gonna map it out so that we can see there. Okay, so if you did do a gig, Stonehenge, that's kind of middle.
Yeah. That'll be good.
Mind you, that will cause the traffic to stop.
Yeah, preferably when the Northern Lights are above it, like the other day.
Yeah, absolutely. You never know. You could have to come out of capsules though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We wouldn't look out of place.
All Spinal Tapish. Yeah. No, there we go. I mean, maybe like one gig or something like that, or something. Yeah, maybe like a special occasion sort of thing.
Yep, totally. We're not ruling that out. I mean, we've applied for End of the Road Festival, which would be
that's fantastic. That's sort of September time, isn't it?
It's just that's right. It's just all the other little gigs that can quite often be disappointing and cost you a lot of money as a band without any kind of backing. And it's just like you've eaten into loads of time writing and recording then, and just rehearsing for a few gigs here and there. Just all of a sudden the times goes by and you're like,
well, you've bought yourself a bit of time if you get into that one. You've got until you've got the whole of the summer to find time to practice.
Exactly, and I'm writing loads for the next album, and there's 14 songs in the pot, and I've got plans to get recording half of it in the summer, then the other half in autumn, and it's like I'd rather be concentrating on that and really trying to make something special.
Well, you're making things that are special, which is great.
Thank you.
Really love what you are doing. Now, tell people that there are physical releases of this music as well. So, he's got some there to demonstrate. Look at this, and we talked about artwork earlier, but it's great artwork as well. Who's doing the artwork?
Sid.
Well done, Sid.
Yeah, and another mate of ours helps with just the layout and stuff, sort of finessing it at the end.
So if people want to get hold of those, where's the best place for them to go?
So our Bandcamp, you can still get the new album. On the Spin Out Nuggets website, you can get both albums still, I think. I don't know.
Spin Out Nuggets, I love that.
Yeah, that's the little indie label that help facilitate our releases. And most of the sort of decent independent record shops are stocking it. So you can buy online from them.
If you're an independent record shop watching and you haven't got a copy, there you are.
Let's
get in touch. Get a copy. Put it on the shelf, because someone might be coming in, later this week to get a copy. If you haven't got a copy of the album yet, do head over to Bandcamp. Is it just Bandcamp and then the shop window?
I think it's the shop window band.
Yeah. It's the shop window band. Okay, so head over there. Yeah. Fill your boots. Do spend a penny or two, because that helps people like Carl and his friends make more of the same music, and also it means you've got a lovely physical copy to play around the house as well. And in years to come, your children will go, "What's this that I found in the cupboard?" And they'll want to play it. And that's, and the journey, just as Carl says, the journey just carries on and on and on. And you don't get that from digital, folks.
No,
so
you don't. You definitely don't.
Do it. Carl, it's been wonderful talking to you. Thank
Same.
you. I hope people go and investigate your music and enjoy it. Lots of melody, lots of little great guitar lines in there for which will get hooked in your head, folks, and then you'll struggle to get them out for the foreseeable future, which is the way that all good music should be. So if you enjoy your melodies and you want some very clever lyrics as well, why not have a look through this particular shop window this week and enjoy a little bit of Carl and his friends making happy music for you. Thanks, Carl.
Thank you very much.
We'll keep in touch. Do subscribe to this if you like it. We're not here for the money. We're not here for anything else other than to promote new music. If that's the kind of thing that you like, and actually you just want to give us a bit of support so that we can carry on doing it, subscribe, tell your friends about it, get more people listening. Who knows, we might even start a revolution. Until next time, bye for now.